One. Hello and welcome to another week of the Techno Dinosaur meets the IT Geek. Over there or here is Brother Nickel, the Techno Dinosaur. My name is David Logan, the IT Geek. I'm based here in Annan, southwest of Scotland. With me this week is the Techno Dinosaur, Brother Nickel. So hello Wally, how are you and where are you?
Hi David, thank you. I'm very well. I am Willie Nicol, the Techno Dinosaur, but also a personal development life coach. I'm based near Troon, South Ayrshire, Scotland.
Fantastic. To the viewer, we'll ask each other a question each week. You'll get a question in a second, Wally. One request to the viewers. I normally ask this at the end of the video. Can you please subscribe to YouTube? Press the subscribe button down here. Thank you. Wally, your favourite subject question this week. Can you tell us about anxiety and how we can manage it?
Thank you, David. First of all, anxiety is a bit like stress. It's a perfectly normal thing, part of everyday life. It's a fear or apprehension. We get anxious. It tends to be focused in the present or the future rather than the past. So we get anxious about something that's happening just now, or we get anxious about something that's about to happen. We're not generally anxious about something that has happened, unless the thing that has happened causes us to be anxious in the present. But it shouldn't do because it's happened in the past. So I've done a bit of research, you'll not be surprised to hear. And anxiety is normal. It's only when you become constantly or regularly anxious it can become more of a problem. We're all used to being anxious, but feel a bit unsettled, a bit not at ourselves. But generally we get over it. However, if that persists, there is a thing called general anxiety disorder or generalized anxiety disorder, which is more serious. But I'm going to talk about coping with, if you like, everyday anxiety. So here's a wee quote from the American Psychological Association. Anxiety is an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and also physical changes like increased blood pressure. We're going to go back to our old friend of the fight or flight syndrome, which I've touched upon many, many times. A naturally occurring process when we're faced with stress or danger. We go back to the old scenario of the caveman out hunting, faced with a saber-toothed tiger, and he's now faced with the problem of do I fight or flight? However, nowadays we don't have these dangers. At least we don't have any saber-toothed tigers in Troon, I'll tell you that. But we do have everyday worries and anxiety now. Life, work, personal relationships, and so on and so forth, which are perfectly natural. Right? The worry or anxiety we have about passing a driving test, sitting an exam, things that are about to happen that we're worried about, are anxious about. But once we've done it, that should be past. Let me quote from some of the notes I've taken. The fight or flight syndrome, as we've said before, causes the production of adrenaline, which causes us to have heightened sensitivity, higher heart rate, shallower breathing, as part of do we run or do we stay, right? Anxiety is very similar. However, there are ways to manage it, and we've talked about these also. Breathing techniques, mindfulness, meditation, exercise. If you're feeling anxious, go for a walk. We also talked in the past about do some gardening. Perhaps not a great idea in a Scottish winter, but you get the drift. So managing our anxiety is entirely down to us. we do some of these techniques, we take some of these precautions and see how our anxiety diminishes. I've come across some very good websites about how to cope with anxiety. Most of them are American, to be fair, but that doesn't negate the validity of what they're saying. And there's one which is actually about how to cope with anxiety during the COVID situation. So what we'll do is, I'll let you have this document and you can put it on the website for people to access these websites. So that's it very basically. Anxiety, perfectly normal. If, like stress, it gets too much, too often, it can be very bad. So how to manage it? I've just hit upon that. Any more information, please get in touch and I can point you in the direction of more helpful advice.
Excellent, Wally. Thank you. I didn't have to ask you any further questions towards the end of the period. That's great though, a great load of information. And it should help people through this period as we're going up. I don't think we've got much to cheer about Christmas, but it definitely is a worrying time for all.
I could just add something, David, and it's pertinent to anxiety. It's a reference to what we call in coaching our basic human needs. One of which, or the very basic one, is our basic human needs are for shelter, food, water, air, so on. Just above that is our need for kind of certainty and social interaction and structure. And we like things to be routine. Now, our routine has certainly been messed up by the coronavirus situation. I was talking to a client yesterday. His routine has been disrupted because he can't go and watch the football. And it's really, really annoying him. He's not anxious about it, but it's annoying him. And how we cope with this lack of certainty is another thing that can make us anxious. So maybe we talk about that in a future vlog. But just to finalise it, anxiety, perfectly natural. If it gets too bad, you need to manage it.
Great. Fantastic. Thanks a lot. That's us for this week. To the viewer, please subscribe, the big red subscribe button on YouTube. Visit us on website. We'll add in some website links as per Wally's recommendations. Visit us Facebook. Visit us Twitter. Visit us LinkedIn. We're on these channels. If you don't want to post something publicly, message us privately. Message Wally. Message myself. Private. Keep it confidential. Be safe. Stay healthy. If you're anxious, speak to Wally. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Yes, happy to talk to anyone who is maybe struggling a wee bit with anxiety, stress, or whatever. It's no pressure, no obligation, it's just a chat. So I'll reiterate what David says. Keep well, stay healthy, and don't forget, have a bit of fun if you can. Goodbye from me.